Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, football fans, to another episode of The Blitz, brought to you by Game Changers Media. I'm your host, Big C. Y'all know the co host, Mike Jones. What up, Mikey?
What up, brother? What up? How we doing? How are we doing today? Another day, another Monday. Wait, was it Wednesday today? Oh my!
Today is a
One
Wednesday.
one more
Wednesday.
day. We got some football coming up.
It
I'm
is hump
excited.
day. Hump
Oh,
day.
hey.
Hump
Gotta love hump
day.
day.
The weekend's almost here. Football tomorrow. Football tomorrow.
Woo, woo.
It's only a day away. So, no football the last couple days, but some interesting things happening around the NFL. This is usually the time of year where these extracurricular activities typically start coming into play when teams are fall out of playoff possibilities and they realize that their season's over. They start preparing for the afterlife of their
The
football
after.
season, started making preparations for their futures. We've seen it with the New York Giants replacing Daniel Jones and their New York counterpart, the New York Football Jets, have now started to make changes. I mean, they fired Robert Saleh earlier in the season. I guess Woody Johnson must have thought that Robert Saleh was the problem. I didn't see it that way. Um, the New York Jets have continued to lose and underperform. I don't I can't put my finger on the main problem with these New York Jets, but Woody Johnson decided to fire the general manager Joe Douglas. Obviously the New York Jets plan a full rebuild, a full reset of this franchise. The only thing that's remaining is Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like he's a main culprit of the problems that are going on currently. Not only has it been his play, but his off the field um what's the word I'm looking for? His off the field manipulation of people and using his name to get what he wants. I Aaron Rodgers has done this for quite a while now. But Joe Douglas is gone. Aaron Rodgers is the only thing that remains. And now there is reports that Woody Johnson wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers after week 4, which that blows my mind. First off, if you're the owner of the football team, why wasn't he benched? I mean, you're the one that, in the end all be all, makes the real decisions. If you don't want someone playing for your football team, they're not going to be playing. But I guess reports are that he wanted Aaron Rodgers benched after week 4. That didn't happen. The New York Jets then lost to the Minnesota Vikings after that, which led to the Robert Saleh Robert Saleh's firing. So, I mean, there's so many problems with this New York Jets team. There's so much talent, so much, and I just don't. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers isn't performing to the level that Aaron Rodgers has typically performed in his career, his Hall of Fame career. One of the league's all-time greatest players. I mean, can you agree with that, Mike? You I can't hear you at all.
How about now?
Yep.
Sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. I've been saying it all year. Like at the beginning of the year, especially, I was pumped for Aaron Rodgers. Like when I think of Aaron Rodgers, I think the problem is I think of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and he's not that younger guy anymore. That he's getting older. He came in his first season here, gets injured right off the get. Like it was the craziest thing. I was like so pumped. My dad was pumped. He's like, "Oh, we got Aaron Rodgers. Maybe we could do something." And then he was gone. And then this year he comes in, so you're like, I was pumped up for it. Like he's just not the same Aaron, and I think he's just looking for too much. Like he's almost like a entitled little princess, wants to use daddy's credit card. He wants to have everything he wants, but when he gets what he wants, he's not performing. And I think you're right. I think they're going into a full blown rebuild. At least for the front office, new head coaches and new GM, like they're, you know what I mean? Because like you said, this team on paper at the beginning of the season, and still they have a good roster. They have a great team. And then they pick up Adams there, and he should have just stayed where he was, because what the hell is he getting out of this? And I feel like that was an Aaron thing, and I think it just became too much. It's too much attention. You're a New York team. New York teams tend to get a lot of attention. You get a lot of opinions, and they come down on you if you do something that they don't agree with. So you're in New York, and you sit there and you're not performing, and you're getting things you want, and all this stuff is so publicized. My opinion, I would have sat him too. I mean, I would have wanted to sit him when we kept losing, like, because that wouldn't be what I was looking at. That wouldn't have been what I was expecting out of Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know if you could possibly sit Aaron Rodgers and justify it. First off,
probably not.
You paid whatever you paid to get him here. And it's not like Aaron Rodgers' numbers are crazy horrible. I mean, he's not the Aaron Rodgers he once was, but I mean, he's not. We're not talking about, oh, he's got 5 touchdowns to 20 interceptions. I mean, the guy's got 2,500 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to 17 picks. He just lacks that big play. I mean, the offense isn't scoring.
Yeah.
The offensive line is having trouble protecting him. They brought in a bunch of new offensive linemen because offensive line was a huge problem for him last year. Breece Hall has been a letdown, in my opinion. I heard so much from Jets fans that, oh, he's Christian McCaffrey 2.0. He can do this. He can do that. He's the second best back in the league, and I have not seen that. I have not seen that.
Yeah.
He's got 600 and some yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, and he's almost got as many fumbles as he does got touchdowns. I mean, I just haven't seen it from him. Garrett Wilson's been phenomenal for him. I mean, he's got 69 catches, 722 yards, and 5 touchdowns. They weren't expecting. I don't think anybody was expecting the old Aaron Rodgers. Maybe if you were delusional and had this, oh, we're going to score 30 points a game, and our defense is going to give up 8 points a game, and we're just going to wash everybody. I think if you watch the last 2 years in Green Bay, you realize that Aaron Rodgers was on a decline. Now, he didn't fall off a cliff, and he, you know what I mean, at times he still looked like the Aaron Rodgers of old, and I still think he has performances in him like that. But he's not the Aaron Rodgers that's going to take over a game on a daily basis and be the reason that you win games on a weekly basis. That's not him anymore. He's 41 years old.
Right.
That's not him no more. Father Time is undefeated. It gets said over and over and over. All these great athletes. I mean, there becomes a time that they're no longer, their bodies just can't produce the way they used to. But like I said, I don't think that Aaron Rodgers not performing like Aaron Rodgers of old is enough for this team to be in the position that they were. This team was in a better position last year without Aaron Rodgers and they had way worse quarterback play.
Yep.
So, I mean, then it falls back onto the defense. This defense isn't what it was. Sauce Gardner has fallen off a cliff. His first 2 years in the league, he's all pro, rookie of the year. They're talking about top corner, going to be the highest paid corner in NFL history coming up. And he's just not. He is not it this year. He is falling off a cliff. That's a big thing right there. This defense is giving up. Well, in total offense, they're only scoring 18.5 a game, which that's not very good. It's in the bottom half of the league, 26th in the league, I think. But their defense is supposed to have been so good that even only scoring 18 points a game, you would think that they're still going to win a bunch of games like they did last year. But their defense is 18th in points. Or no, they're 13th in points at 22 points a game. So I mean, you're giving up 22 points a game. You're only scoring 18. That's a recipe for disaster right there. They're 18th in total defense, which they were a top 2 or 3 team last year. So this defense is taking a major dip, major. But it's mostly the same players that were here last year, and I mean, it doesn't make sense. These New York Jets gonna restart. Aaron Rodgers hasn't said he's gonna retire, but I don't see a scenario where Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the New York Jets next year. There's no guaranteed money left on his contract, so they don't lose anything by cutting him.
Why would he want to stay there?
I mean, it's not said that he does. It's not said that he does want to stay there, but it hasn't been said that he doesn't leave either.
Yeah, but I mean, when you got a owner sitting there saying stuff about benching you week 4 and stuff like that, I mean, Aaron Rodgers with the ego he has, I mean, I don't even know how I would feel. That'd be like your boss telling you, are you finding out your boss is talking crap behind your back and you ain't gonna want to work there? I mean, maybe he can go somewhere else. I don't know. But I think you're right. I don't think Aaron Rodgers thinks he's done. But then again, unless he goes somewhere with a good O-line, and that's the problem. I think that's the problem with Breece Hall too. The O-line contributes to the run game there too. And that's the problem with the defense too. If the defense is just out there constantly because the Jets aren't putting up points, I mean, you're a defense. You're going at these guys' balls to the wall. You're going to get tired, and then late in the game, when you need good legs to go out there and make a stop, defense is washed. I mean, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it all starts and ends with scoring points and then keeping your defense as fresh as possible. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to stay there personally. For me, if it was me, I wouldn't want to stay there knowing that my boss was talking about benching me week 4, especially with an ego like Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't see a scenario where Aaron Rodgers returns to the New York Jets next year. My question is, why didn't they try to move him at the trade deadline if he wanted them benched that week? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did you go and get Devontae Adams afterwards if you wanted him benched? I mean, you didn't think that you were going to bench Aaron Rodgers. His feelings weren't going to get hurt. I mean, he's a prima donna.
Yeah.
You thought he was going to bench him. His feelings weren't going to get hurt, and this was going to blow up in your face.
Yep.
So, I mean, Woody Johnson's at fault too, because you continued. I mean, you had this gut feeling. You didn't want to. You wanted to bench him. You had an opportunity to move on from him midway through the season. But no, you decided to go get a expensive wide receiver and add to the team too. I mean, he's got to take some accountability for this too. And I don't think Woody Johnson's a very good NFL owner. He's got some assignment coming from the Trump presidency, so he's not even going to be running football operations and going forward. It's going to be his son, I think. But this team has got a lot of issues. They need to figure out which way they're going to move for the future. Bill Belichick's name. I mean, Bill Belichick's name is going to be in a lot of people's. It's going to be every coaching position that's open.
Yeah.
But people need to realize with Bill Belichick, this man is 70 some years old. How long does he have at any of these franchises? Do you really want to bring Bill Belichick in, and before you know it, you got an 80-year-old man coaching your team, and he's the oldest coach in NFL history? Yeah, I mean, you got to take that into account.
Yeah.
Because rebuilds don't happen overnight, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if Bill Belichick got 5, 6, 7 years in him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I mean, he got a little young girlfriend and all, you know, lucky him. If we could all be that lucky when we're 70 some years old, be
for real
plowing away at that, you know what I mean?
I'm not even lucky.
She's gotta be disgusted every time they go to bed. Like, I hope his Viagra medication gets lost in the mail. I hope he can't get it up this month.
Looks like a wet, soggy loaf of bread in the sink. What the? I don't know.
She'd be trying to go in and watch TV. He's watching Bonanza.
Bonanza. Green Acres.
Yeah.
Oh man, some John Wayne movies. Oh man, yeah. That'd be so messed up. Like, I just wanted to watch Netflix. Damn.
Netflix.
Oh man, Netflix. What's Netflix?
This Bonanza. Yeah, but the Jets got some rocky roads ahead, and I can't lie, I'm not disappointed by it. I'm more than happy. Hopefully, they continue to be in misery and continue to mess things up. I hope they hire a GM that comes in and doesn't know anything, and they draft a quarterback that puts them in the hole for another 5 years, and they got to continue to start over, and they continue to be 2, the 3, the 4-win team, and life will be grand. One can only wish.
You're horrible. You're so hard on them Jets.
Oh man, it's the Jets fans. It's you fans that do it. You're so cocky for no reason. So cocky. You haven't won nothing. You haven't done nothing. Like Patriots fans, I can deal with a little bit because at least they've won something. At least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not an overly cocky Dolphins fan. My team doesn't win. You know what I mean? But these Jets fans, they act like they were world champions 3 in a row. You would have thought that they won the championship last year. We're going to win it again this year. And it's just mind-boggling to me that they act like that. But yeah. So that's all we got to say about that.
That's all we got.
I want to shoot this out there. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you feel they're legit Super Bowl contenders?
I do. I really do. I mean, any team that's 8-2 that goes to the playoffs, I like to say if you're going to make the playoffs, you got a shot. Now, I worry that if they come up against, Ravens or anybody like that, I worry about that because Russ is winning, but he's not putting up the numbers you'd expect. That doesn't mean much right now. Like they continue to win. They're putting themselves in a positive situation when it comes to the playoffs. I think they have a legit shot. I mean, if you think your Dolphins have a shot at the playoffs, I mean, why can't the Steelers be contenders? Eh,
Well, I mean, there's a difference between being
yeah, I
bad.
know.
And,
I was just jabbing at you, brother.
I mean,
Um,
there's only usually 2 or 3 teams typically that you feel like
I
are
think
really.
with I think with Baltimore starting to fall back and not look as good, I think that the Steelers at this moment slip into their spot. So I'd say the Steelers would be in my top 3. So yeah, I think they're contenders at this moment, unless something crazy drastic happens and Pittsburgh goes on a losing streak or just falls right out. I think that the Steelers are definite Super Bowl contenders. I think they can do it. Now, will they win? I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence. I think their defense, obviously, Pittsburgh's known for their defense, steel curtain, this and that. TJ Watt is one of the top 2 or 3 defensive players in the whole league. He's probably a top 7 player in the whole league, whether offense, defense, anything. He just knows how to get after the quarterback. Russell Wilson has played decent since he's taken over the starter spot, but like you said, he hasn't put up big numbers. I mean, he hasn't had to.
Well, he's getting lucky. He's not getting lucky, but he'll hit a big play here and there to Pickens or so it's he hits a big play, and that's the biggest thing. He'll hit 1 or 2 of those a game, and it's just enough. So their games are generally
But
close.
you're only getting. I mean, if you've played 5 or 6 games and you've only got 6 touchdowns, I mean that's not a whole lot of production. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
They're running the ball decent and they're playing good defense, and that's the key. But at some point, Russell Wilson's going to have to put this team on his back and make some. He's going to have to play like the Russell Wilson of old. And I don't know if that. I mean, he's playing good. He's playing way better than he ever played in Denver. But is that same Russell Wilson around that can have a duel with Pat Mahomes, that can outduel Josh Allen? That if Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens don't play stupid football like they did last week against Pittsburgh, can he outduel Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
And
I,
I don't see him doing that.
yeah. I worry about that too. I mean, that was my biggest thing. He's played well. He's put up decent numbers. He's not playing terrible, but is that going to be a problem when he gets up against one of these top teams like KC or Baltimore? Baltimore's kind of lacking off. I feel like they'd have a better, but when you go to play KC, I mean, playoffs are especially the playoffs. It's just a different feel, and I don't know. That's why I said I think they're contenders, but I still anything can happen, but I don't know if they're there unless Russ's production picks up, and I don't think they have what it takes per se. But anything can happen. I wouldn't say they're not contenders. That's for sure. They're 8-2. You can't say they're not contenders.
I mean, if I don't think you can beat 4 of the 7 teams in the playoffs, I don't think you're a contender. I don't think they're going to I don't think they can beat the Bills, the Chiefs, and I think if they played the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, and Baltimore just gives the ball to Derrick Henry more than 13 times, I don't think they can beat the Ravens. So
I don't know if they could. I don't even know if they could beat the Chargers, and that's what.
I mean, the Chargers can put up points too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
they got a top defense. I mean, I'd probably give them the benefit of the doubt over the Chargers, but them other 3 teams, I'd probably be picking the other 3 over Pittsburgh. So I mean, like you said, anything can happen, but I'm going with there. I think there's better options. I think there's more likely scenarios that end up playing out. Pittsburgh's had a hell of a year. No one expected them to play at the level that they've been playing at. Certainly not Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson's had a better year than anybody expected. But it's almost like that Jaden Daniels that you didn't expect a lot. So when he's putting up these mediocre numbers, they look phenomenal to you until you dig deeper and see, whoa, hold on, he's only got 6 touchdowns. And it feels like more than that because they're winning, but in reality, it's not. Like last week, he didn't even throw a touchdown and they beat Baltimore. That's not going to be the typical outcome. You're not going to typically be able to throw no touchdowns and beat Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore puts up points. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, I mean, they got a shot, but I don't think they're the favorite or the co-favorite or even my third favorite. So
Right. It's kind of a
I
loaded
think they're a
question.
long shot at. I think they're a long shot at the Super Bowl.
I mean, it's kind of a loaded question because contenders can mean a lot of things. Just being a contender just means you have the capability. You could possibly do something. So I put them in
I
the
guess
top four.
it's a possibility.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I like the Steelers.
Let's talk about the contenders of all contenders, the Detroit Lions. Now this one's kind of reverse. Is there anyone that can stop the Detroit Lions from going to the Super Bowl? Or is there anybody that can beat the Detroit Lions?
That's a tough question. I think you got the Bills, Ravens, Kansas City, and the Eagles.
Well, they match up against the Bills here in a couple weeks. Let me throw out some numbers for you. The Lions are third in total offense. 394 yards per game with 42 touchdowns. 42.
That's crazy.
They're sixth in passing, 242 yards a game, 22 touchdowns. They're third in rushing, 152 yards, 18 touchdowns. So they're doing it just as much through the air or on the ground as through the air. With that double Montgomery and Gibbs, they got a two-headed monster at that running back. You know what I mean? And they're first in the scoring offense. They're scoring a whopping 33 points a game. 33 and a half. That's big time. You're
That is
scoring
pretty
over
crazy.
30 points a game, bro. That's huge. They're 13th in total defense. They're giving up 327 yards a game, 17 touchdowns on the season. They're 27th in pass defense. They're giving up 232 yards a game, 7 touchdowns. My justification that they're so low in passing defense is because they're winning by so much that teams are just throwing, trying to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that
I
makes
mean,
sense.
you're going to be on the lower spectrum of that stat just because of that. And then because they're so low in the passing, they're a top 5 in the rush because teams can't run against them because they gotta catch up. 5th in rushing with only 94 yards a game. They've given up 9 rushing touchdowns. This team's they're 5th in scoring. They're giving up an average of 17.7 points per game. You're scoring 33, you're only giving up 17. That leads to a lot of wins. You got 14 interceptions. That's a lot of turnovers. This team is stacked. They're playing great on all levels. You see these performances that you're not seeing from any other team. They got 3 wins over 35 points, I think it is. 3 wins this year over 35 points. You know how many the rest of the league has?
I don't even want to know.
0.
0. That's insanity.
0.
That is insanity.
Think about beating another team by 35 points multiple times. That's
kind of.
This team is loaded, bro. all facets. So again, there's your numbers. This is to the fans too. Is there anyone that can beat the Detroit Lions? Is there anyone that can stop the Detroit Lions? Let's hear those answers.
Yeah, for real. Because that was the best that's the best I could come up was Bills, Ravens, Kansas City. And I think Eagles just because they only they can rush 4 defenders, which makes it a little more difficult for Detroit. Either way, I don't think you put any of those teams against them. I don't think any other team's going to be a favorite. I think it's going to be Detroit all the way. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it's not about being. I mean, you got to make.
We talked. I mean, how long? What was it, like 3 weeks ago? We said, is Detroit the new top dog? And I said, I think I said, yeah, absolutely. And they just keep piling on and piling on and piling. They're my favorite, and they're definitely my favorite for the NFC. I mean,
I think
they won't have to
NFC that has a shot at knocking off these Detroit Lions is the last team you had mentioned is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
And it's because of the Philadelphia Eagles running game. Saquon Barkley has been an absolute monster for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. You add that on to Jalen Hurts' rushing ability. You got 2 stud receivers. You got a great tight end. You got a good offensive line, and then your defense is not too shabby neither. You got to control the ball. You got to not turn over the ball. And this team, the Philadelphia Eagles can compete with the Detroit Lions. And if there's one team that can knock them off and turn this season that has been full of so much joy and excitement for Detroit fans, you can turn that into a season of grief and disappointment very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Saquon Barkley is the key to all this. And he could have been doing it for the New York Giants.
Why? Yo. Oh.
but he's not.
But he's not. Yeah.
They got Tracy. Don't worry about it.
Thanks. Tracy. Yeah. Oh yeah, because he reverse hurdles what fucking rats in the parking lot. You know, come on.
But yeah, Philadelphia. I like Philadelphia. I'm nervous for Detroit as far as I don't want them to. I don't know how to phrase. I don't want them to blow their load too early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't play too good too early, and then your bad game comes later in the season. And I almost wish they'd have a bad game here in the next week or two. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just so they get it out their system. I mean, Jared Goff did have Jared Goff. I mean, maybe they did have their bad game though. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
But this
That's very true.
Team still won. So maybe they had their bad game, and that's as low as they go. Maybe this team is that good.
They definitely look better.
You had 5 picks and you still won. Then so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're missing it. Maybe this Detroit Lions team is just that much of a powerhouse. I think we're going to get a lot of questions answered when they face Buffalo here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed by this neither. I think there's going to be a lot of hurt Buffalo Bills feelings. Because they're going to realize their little Buffalo Bills ain't as good as what they thought they was. Oh, you thought you was all that good team, huh? You thought you was going Super Bowl, huh? You thought you had a chance to win the Super Bowl because you beat the Chiefs. Just know you had the Detroit Lions to look forward to. So even when you lose by 25 to the Lions, you know you got to play them in the Super Bowl even if you get there. Oh, Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. Number 5, remix edition. Remix. Buffalo still loses.
Yo, I don't know. I think they do lose. They lose in the Super Bowl to Buffalo.
Who's losing the Super Bowl to Buffalo?
The Buffalo's would lose the Super Bowl to Detroit. My bad.
Buffalo's not going to the Super Bowl, bro.
You can't even say it. You don't think so?
They're not. It's not happening.
All right.
Lamar gonna knock them out.
Lamar just knocking himself out.
Our Patty Daddy gonna do it. Josh Allen know what time it is in the playoffs. If they gotta head over to KC, they know what time it is. Taylor Swift gonna be up in that crowd doing her thing. What? Travis Kelce gonna do his thing. What?
Oh God.
You know what time?
Nobody wants to see that. It's supposed to be about football. I don't want to see Taylor Swift.
I'll take a look at Taylor. She's a nice gal.
She's a nice gal.
She's a sweetheart. She's a billionaire princess. I mean, I like to take a look at Rihanna. Rihanna would be not wearing a lot of clothes, bro.
Rihanna be
She's nice. I like a lot. You ever watch some of her music videos? They're like Skinamax, bro.
No, I don't. No.
Rihanna be butt ass naked in her videos.
I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch
Check out her videos, her music
football.
videos. She be butt naked. Like,
yeah, I would.
I like it a lot. It was nice. I like it. Yes.
I'm good. I'll be good.
Yo, stop. Like what are you frying for America right now?
America? What do you mean, like all two
of
our viewers?
Don't let him lie to you, folks. He probably searching on his phone right now. Yeah, I know who you be. Chris and Josh,
Hey.
go get the Grandma's magazine from downstairs and her dirty playing cards.
Yo, bro.
Yo, what?
Yeah.
Did you freeze?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's take a look at Thursday night football. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns.
I
wish they could
really.
Yeah, I wish they
had a better game.
Switch this game out. What can you do? I mean, it's a division rivalry. Maybe Pittsburgh lays an egg. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Nick Chubb's back. I don't see it though. I think Pittsburgh probably handles this game probably pretty easily.
Yeah,
I hate when it's the only game on and it's just like, oh, you know what I mean?
You got two teams in totally different places. Like you got one that's
going different directions.
Yeah, one season one's looking to next season and one is trying to make this their season. It's always kind of crappy this time of year.
I mean, to be fair, when this game was made, it was probably thought to have been for, Cleveland was supposed to be a good team this year. They're another one of that. Them and the New York Jets have to have the two biggest disappointments. I mean, Cleveland not so much as the Jets, but Cleveland was supposed to have a top. I mean, it was supposed to be the Jets and Cleveland defense-wise.
Right.
The Jets had a little bit more expectations behind them because of the Aaron Rodgers thing, and the Browns just had Deshaun Watson. I mean, maybe some people thought that after this year would have been different for him, his second full year back, but Cleveland is a disappointing team too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I definitely like Pittsburgh in this one. Pittsburgh getting closer and closer to the division title because Baltimore slipped up a couple times this year, and that loss last week really hurts them. So Pittsburgh wins. They keep their hopes alive for the number 1 seed, and they move a little bit closer to AFC North division title.
Yeah, I agree. They're just, like I said, they're just in different spots, and Steelers are on a 5-game streak. They're taking control of AFC North. They're going to go to the playoffs. The Browns, their season's over. Watson's season was over. Like, now you got Winston, and it's just another day. That's another day, man. I didn't know you were bald. How would you not know I was bald? I've shaved my head for like a year and a half.
Well, thank you, miss.
Wow.
That's very kind of you.
Hey, that's not fair.
We have a fan that we have no idea. We never heard of her before.
Never,
So thank
never.
you. We appreciate it.
Wait, isn't it
Thank
that
you,
chick
Miss
on the
Aaron Twist? But yeah, that's your Thursday night game. Maybe I'll get on here tomorrow and do a couple. I want to really start bringing a couple of my DraftKings on here and my FanDuels because I come super close to winning lots of money, and maybe
Right.
it can help you guys. Maybe it can help one of you lucky fans win some money, and maybe you'll switch a couple things up, and hey, maybe you win 10 grand. Because I be that close, literally. I do 21, 22, 23 lag parlays, and I literally get 21 of them right. It's just one small one that I'll get wrong and lose 10 grand on. And you're like, well, Big C, why don't you just do 15 lag parlays? Well, then the 15 lag parlays don't pay as much. Well, you can
Right.
get 10 lag parlays that pay more. Well, yeah, you can, but the chances of those things happening are a lot less. Like I'll say Derrick Henry's going to have 25 yards rushing. Chances are Derrick Henry's going to probably have 75 yards rushing, but 25 he's definitely going to get. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or Lamar Jackson has 25 yards rushing. I could bet that he's going to have 50 yards rushing and get more money off it, but he's definitely going to get 25 yards. You know what I mean? So I bet on a bunch of things that are almost guaranteed to happen. It just sucks that it might be guaranteed to happen, but one of the things doesn't happen. Like Russell Wilson,
Gino.
he's thrown a touchdown in every game he's played for the Pittsburgh Steelers until he didn't. You know
Until you needed it for money.
Yeah, $10,000. He didn't want to do it. Well, Effa.
You should send him some
Well,
hate mail. You should send Geno Smith some hate mail.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should. We got a full slate of games coming up this weekend. Hopefully, my Miami Dolphins can continue their assault on the National Football League that they've been doing for the last couple weeks. They've been just terrorizing teams and putting people on notice that they're coming for them. People are afraid of the Dolphins right now. Teams are intimidated.
Am I in the Twilight Zone? Did I walk into the wrong room?
Teams don't want to see Miami. They're hoping they don't make the playoff. They don't want to see. They don't want to see Super Tua.
Yeah. Captain
They're
Concussion
like,
Protocol.
Tua, please, Tua, don't come to the playoffs and hurt us. Don't hurt our feelings, please.
Yeah, he's gonna mess around. He gonna mess around, get one too many, and he gonna be like a Aaron Hernandez.
First off, he'll never be. He's too nice of a guy.
He's too nice of a guy until he's not.
We don't.
Until that
joke
little
about
thing up
Tua.
in here just.
We don't joke about Tua's brain. It's not a left matter.
I'll talk about what I want to talk about, sir.
I'll mute you.
I'll unmute me.
And I'll mute you again.
I'll just kick you from the stream. Well, anyway, the better host is.
Stop playing games. We're not children.
I know, right?
Nobody wants to see us argue.
Oh no.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll cut it short a little bit early tonight. That's because the Thursday night game's trash. Sorry, not a lot of whole talking. I mean, Pittsburgh is probably going to destroy them. Hopefully, Nick Chubb continues his successful return from that gruesome injury. Hopefully, Russell Wilson shows. Hopefully, Russ has a big game where he changes my mind as far as the Biano put up the big game. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
He shows me that Pittsburgh can be a contender. Well, remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. We're getting closer and closer to that 500 mark, friends and family.
Oh yeah, we're getting close. How close? We close. We close. Price check on Vegiclean. That's Vegiclean, aisle 5. We got a customer down here with a fallopian fungus. She's baking a loaf of bread, and I think it's sourdough. Yeah, I can't. You just see that movie?
Yeah, that's on the risk of being inappropriate, Michael.
That's not inappropriate at all. You know what's inappropriate? Saying the F word all the time.
I didn't say no F word today. Thank you very much.
I know I did. I did twice. My bad.
You owe nickel to the swear jar.
I do.
Well, anyway, we'll see you Friday. Thank you for coming through to another episode of the Game Changerz Media, The Blitz.
The Blitz. Thanks for kicking it with us on The Blitz, brought to you by Game Changerz Media. Please like, share, subscribe. We love you. And you better show up for Pick'ems. You know? Pick'ems,
yeah,
Pick'ems Friday.
Pick'em Friday is awesome. What?
It's awesome. There's some okay games this week, I guess. We shall see.
Or you can just check out the Miami Dolphins' destruction in straight terrorizing New England Patriots and forcing them into submission.
Oh, we may be watching Miami Dolphins destruction.
You watch your mouth. This isn't the New York Giants we're talking about.
Hey.
This is the Miami Dolphins.
Hey, those Patriots.
But anyway, take care of each other. Fins up. Love you. Peace.
Peace.